When my nephew Marcus called me at 9 p.m. on a Thursday night, his voice was shaking so badly I could barely understand him. "Auntie Diane, please, I need your help. I'm in serious trouble." He was crying, gulping for air between words. "I need $15,000 by midnight or they're going to hurt Jessica and the kids. Please, Auntie. You're the only one who can help me." My heart stopped. Marcus was my sister Karen's only son. I had helped raise him after Karen died of cancer when he was just 12. He was like my own child. And now someone was threatening his family. "Marcus, slow down. Who's threatening you? Have you called the police?" "No, Auntie, no police. These people, they'll know. They have connections everywhere. They said if I contact the police, they'll..." His voice broke completely. "They'll hurt Lily and Jake first. They're only 6 and 4, Auntie. Please." My hands were shaking as I held the phone. My grandnephew and grandniece. 2 innocent babies threatened by criminals because of some debt Marcus owed. What happened? Why do you owe them money? "I made a mistake, Auntie. A bad investment. I borrowed money from the wrong people. They want it back tonight with interest. $15,000 or..." He couldn't finish the sentence. I looked at my bank account on my computer. I had $43,000 in savings. Money I'd saved for 30 years working as a school administrator. Money for my retirement, for emergencies, for the security of my old age. But what was money compared to the lives of 2 innocent children? "Give me your address," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. "I'm coming right now. Don't do anything. Just wait for me. Auntie, there's no time to come here. Can you just wire the money?" They gave me an account number. Something in my gut twisted. A small warning bell that I ignored because fear was louder. "Marcus, I'm not wiring money anywhere. I'm coming to your house with cash. I'll stop at the ATM on the way. Give me 45 minutes. There was a pause. Okay, Auntie. Thank you. You're saving our lives. Hurry, please." I hung up and my hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my car keys. I stopped at 3 different ATMs, maxing out my daily withdrawal limit at each one. $5,000 from each. I had exactly $15,000 in cash in my purse as I drove to Marcus's house in Riverside, 40 minutes away. The entire drive, my mind was racing. Who had Marcus gotten involved with? Drug dealers? Loan sharks? Gamblers? Marcus had always been a good kid. He worked in IT, had a stable job, a beautiful family. How had this happened? I pulled up to his house at 10:37 p.m. The lights were on inside. I could see movement through the curtains. I grabbed my purse with the money and rushed to the front door. I rang the doorbell 3 times. No answer. I knocked hard. "Marcus. It's Auntie Diane. Open up." Finally, the door opened. But it wasn't Marcus standing there. It was Jessica, his wife. And she was wearing a cocktail dress and heels, holding a glass of wine. Behind her, I could hear music and laughter. "Diane?" Jessica looked genuinely confused. "What are you doing here? Is everything okay?" My blood turned cold. "Where's Marcus? Where are the kids? Are they safe?" "Marcus?" Jessica turned and called over her shoulder. "Honey, your aunt is here." Marcus appeared from the living room, also dressed nicely, also holding a drink. Not a scratch on him. Not a tear in sight. Behind him, I could see other couples, all dressed up, having what looked like a dinner party. "Auntie Diane?" Marcus looked shocked. "What are you doing here?" I held up my purse, my hand shaking with a new emotion now. Not fear. Rage. "You called me an hour ago. Crying. Begging for $15,000 or they would hurt Jessica and the kids. I have the money right here." The color drained from Marcus's face. Jessica's wine glass slipped from her hand and shattered on the floor. What? "Auntie, I never called you. Don't you dare lie to me, Marcus Anthony Richardson." I used his full name, the way my sister used to when he was in trouble. "You called me from your cell phone. You were crying. You said someone was threatening your family. You said you needed $15,000 by midnight." Jessica turned to Marcus, her face transforming from confusion to fury. "Marcus, what the hell is going on?" "I swear, baby, I didn't call her. I haven't left this room all night." Marcus pulled out his phone, checking his call log. His hands were shaking. Look, see? My last call was to you at 6 p.m. asking what wine to buy. I pulled out my phone, my hands steady now with cold anger. I showed him my call log. Then explain this. Your number. 9:03 p.m. 14-minute conversation. Marcus stared at the screen, his face going from red to white. That's my number. But I didn't call you. I swear on my mother's grave, Auntie Diane, I didn't make that call. One of the dinner guests, a tall man in his 50s, stepped forward. I'm Detective Richard Chin. I'm a friend of Marcus and Jessica. Ma'am, may I see your phone? I handed it to him, my mind spinning. If Marcus didn't make the call, who did? Who sounded exactly like Marcus? Who knew enough about our family to make it believable? Detective Chin studied my phone, then looked at Marcus's. Marcus, when's the last time you saw your phone before this moment? Marcus thought for a second. I put it on the charger in the bedroom around 8:30 when I went to help Jessica with the food prep. I just grabbed it when Auntie mentioned the call. Show me where you charge it. We all followed Marcus to the master bedroom. The phone was there, plugged in. But next to it was something else. A small electronic device I didn't recognize. Detective Chin picked it up carefully with a napkin. This is a phone cloning. Someone copied your phone's data. They've been able to make calls that show as coming from your number. The room started spinning. Who would do this? Jessica's face had gone pale. Oh my God. Marcus, your brother. Tyler. Marcus looked sick. No, he wouldn't. He was here last week, Jessica said, her voice shaking. Remember? He asked to charge his phone in our bedroom. He was in there alone for like 20 minutes. Tyler. Marcus's younger half-brother. I'd met him once at a family gathering. He'd seemed off. Charming, but in a calculated way. He'd asked me a lot of questions about my job, about my finances, about whether I lived alone. Detective Chin was already on his phone. I'm calling this in. Ma'am, did you bring the money with you? I nodded, holding up my purse. $15,000 in cash. You just saved yourself from a very sophisticated scam, Detective Chin said. If you had wired that money to the account he gave you, it would have been gone forever. These phone cloning scams are getting more common. Family members are targets because the emotional manipulation is more effective. Marcus sat down on the bed, his head in his hands. Tyler, my own brother tried to steal from you. From us. Jessica put her hand on his shoulder, but her eyes were on me. Diane, I'm so sorry. If Marcus had known Tyler was capable of something like this. We need to call him, I said, my voice ice cold. We need to confront him. Detective Chin shook his head. Let me handle this. This is now a police matter. Phone cloning, impersonation, attempted fraud. If we call him now, he'll destroy evidence and run. But I wasn't going to wait for the law to move at its slow pace. What's Tyler's address? Marcus looked up at me, and in his eyes I saw something I'd never seen before. A cold, hard anger that reminded me exactly of his mother. I'll drive you. 20 minutes later, Marcus, Detective Chin, and I were standing outside Tyler's apartment. Detective Chin had called for backup, but he agreed to let us confront Tyler first. Marcus pounded on the door. Tyler, open up. I know you're in there. The door opened, and Tyler stood there in sweatpants and a t-shirt, looking casual and unconcerned. Then he saw me, and for just a split second, his face showed pure panic before he covered it with a smile. Marcus. Auntie Diane. What a surprise. What are you guys doing here so late? Drop the act, Tyler, Marcus said, pushing past him into the apartment. We know what you did. I followed them inside, and what I saw made my blood boil. Tyler's apartment was expensive. Way too expensive for someone who claimed to be between jobs. Expensive furniture, a huge TV, designer clothes visible in the bedroom. What are you talking about? Tyler was still playing innocent, but his eyes kept darting to the door, calculating his escape. You cloned my phone, Marcus said. You called Auntie Diane pretending to be me. You tried to scam her out of $15,000. Tyler's face went through several expressions before settling on defiance. Prove it. Detective Chin stepped forward, badge out. We found the cloning device in Marcus's bedroom. We have Diane's phone records showing the call came from a clone number. And we're going to search this apartment and find the second device you used to make the call. It's over, Tyler. For a moment, I thought Tyler might run. But then his shoulders slumped and something ugly twisted his features. You know what? Good. I hope they arrest me. Because then maybe someone will finally ask why Marcus got everything and I got nothing. Why he got the family, the house, the respect, and I got scraps. Marcus looked like he'd been slapped. What are you talking about? I've always tried to help you. Help me. Tyler laughed bitterly. You mean judge me? Look down on me? Everyone always comparing me to perfect Marcus. Karen's golden boy. Even after she died, everyone chose you. I stepped forward, and when I spoke, my voice was quiet but sharp as a blade. Tyler, I met you once before tonight. One time. And in that conversation, you asked me how much I made, whether I owned my house, whether I had savings, whether I lived alone. You weren't making conversation. You were marking me as a target. Tyler's face flushed red. That's not. How many people have you done this to? I demanded. How many families have you torn apart? How many aunts and uncles and grandparents have lost their savings because you're a predator who uses their love against them? It's just money, Tyler spat. You have plenty. Marcus has plenty. What's $15,000 to you? It's 30 years of my life, I said, my voice breaking slightly. It's every extra shift I worked, every vacation I didn't take, every luxury I denied myself so I could have security in my old age. It's my peace of mind. My safety net. My dignity. And it's trust, Marcus added, his voice thick with emotion. You didn't just try to steal money, Tyler. You tried to destroy our family. You tried to make Auntie Diane think I was in danger. You tried to make her think my children were going to be hurt. Do you understand how cruel that is? The police arrived then. 2 uniformed officers who Detective Chin had called. They found the second cloning device in Tyler's bedroom, along with notebooks full of names and phone numbers. A list of potential marks. Family members of people Tyler had befriended just enough to get their information. My name was in that notebook. Along with notes. Diane Blackwood. 63, school administrator. Retired. EST savings $40K, $50K. No children. Close to nephew Marcus. Mark, easy. Emotional vulnerability through Marcus's kids. Easy. He thought I was easy. They arrested Tyler that night. As they walked him out in handcuffs, he looked back at me one time. You should have just sent the money. And you should have gotten a real job, I replied. Back at Marcus and Jessica's house, the dinner party had ended early. The guests had left. It was just the 3 of us and Detective Chin, sitting in the living room. Diane, Detective Chin said gently, you should know that Tyler has done this before. We've been investigating similar scams in this area for 6 months. We think he's responsible for at least a dozen successful frauds totaling over $200,000. You're the first Mark who insisted on coming in person instead of wiring the money. Why did you insist? Marcus asked. Most people would have just sent the money. I thought about it. Your mother. The way she raised you. When you were in real trouble, she never handled it over the phone. She was there. In person. Face to face. I guess I learned from her that if something is truly serious, you show up. Marcus's eyes filled with tears. Mom would have been so proud of you tonight. And so ashamed of Tyler. Tyler is his own person, I said. His choices are not your responsibility. But Marcus, you need to press charges. Don't let family loyalty protect someone who is destroying families. I will, Marcus said firmly. He's done. The trial took 8 months. In that time, 12 other victims came forward. Elderly family members who had been scammed out of their savings by Tyler's phone cloning operation. Some had lost $5,000. Some $50,000. One elderly man had lost $127,000, his entire life savings. Tyler was sentenced to 8 years in prison for fraud, identity theft, and elder abuse. During his sentencing, the judge asked if I wanted to make a victim impact statement. I stood up, and Tyler was forced to look at me. Tyler Richardson, I said, my voice steady, you made a critical miscalculation. You thought that my love for Marcus made me weak. You thought that my fear for innocent children made me stupid. You thought that my willingness to help family made me easy. I paused, letting my words sink in. But you forgot that the same love that makes me rush to help also makes me fierce in protecting what I love. The same empathy that makes me care also makes me recognize manipulation. And the same trust that makes me believe family also makes me unforgiving when that trust is betrayed. Tyler's face was stone, but I saw his jaw clench. You tried to rob me of more than money, I continued. You tried to rob me of my ability to trust, to love, to help when help is needed. You failed. I'm standing here whole, aware, and wiser. You're the one in chains. I sat down. The courtroom was silent. After the sentencing, Marcus and I walked out of the courthouse together. He hadn't spoken to Tyler once during the entire trial. Auntie Diane, Marcus said as we reached my car, I need to tell you something. Jessica and I talked, and we want to pay you back the money you would have lost if you'd sent it. We know you withdrew $15,000 from your savings that night. Even though you didn't lose it, you shouldn't have had to go through that fear. Marcus, that's not necessary. Please, he interrupted. Let us do this. You raised me when Mom died. You were there for every graduation, every birthday, every moment I needed family. This is our turn to take care of you. I looked at this man, this good man my sister had raised and I had helped shape, and I felt pride swell in my chest. On one condition, I said. You take that money and put it in a college fund for Lily and Jake. Because the best way to honor me is to raise your children to be as good as you are. Marcus pulled me into a hug, and we both cried on that courthouse steps. 3 years have passed since that night. Tyler is still in prison. He'll be there for 5 more years. Marcus and Jessica's kids are 9 and 7 now. They call me every Sunday, and we talk about their week, their dreams, their lives. They know nothing about what Uncle Tyler tried to do. They don't need to carry that darkness. But Lily asked me something last week that made my heart skip. Auntie Diane, Daddy says you're the person who taught him what family really means. What does family really mean? I thought about Tyler, sitting in a prison cell because he saw family as marks to exploit. I thought about Marcus, who saw family as people to protect and cherish. I thought about my own sister Karen, who raised a son to be good even when the world offered him easier, darker paths. Family, I told Lily, is the people who show up. Not just when it's convenient, but when it's hard. When it's scary. When it costs them something real. And the most important thing? Real family never uses your love as a weapon against you. Like what you did for Daddy, Lily said, her young face so serious. Like what your daddy does for you every single day. Last month, I got a letter from prison. That's real family. From Tyler. It was long, rambling, and full of excuses. But at the very end, there was one sentence that might have been genuine. I thought love was a weakness to exploit. I'm learning too late that it was the only real strength I ever could have had. I didn't write back. Some lessons have to be learned in silence and solitude. But I did send that letter to Marcus with a note. When he gets out, if he's truly changed, he'll have to prove it. Not to me. To the families he destroyed. Don't trust him until he's earned it. If he ever can. My name is Diane Blackwood. I'm 66 years old. 3 years ago, someone tried to use my love for my family to rob me. They failed. Because real love isn't blind. Real love is fierce, protective, and clear-eyed. And the people who mistake love for weakness learn eventually that there's nothing more dangerous than someone protecting the people they love. If you liked my story, you can support me by making a donation so I can write more stories. Thank you in advance. And you, what would you do in this person's place? I would love to hear your opinion, so please share it with me in the comments. I'm always curious about what you all think, and also write me where you heard this story. For more life stories like this, like the video and subscribe to my channel. There are many other stories waiting for you. With heartfelt greetings, until next time.